Your eyes open, and the world feels ordinary, but the unseen waits with a weight you cannot yet perceive. Today is not an ordinary day. It is a spiritual threshold, a hidden crossroad where your choices, words, and faith will determine whether blessing or burden follows you. The Psalm of Sinai, almost no one hears it anymore, holds the key to protection, insight, and alignment with God's power. Many walk blind, unprepared, unaware that the first steps they take can either open doors of divine favor or invite unseen attacks to multiply silently. What if today, in the moments before action, before conversation, before decision, God whispers guidance that can change the trajectory of your life, and you walk past it distracted, skeptical, or weary? The urgency is real. To ignore this moment is to risk stagnation, fear, and missed opportunities that may never return. This is the hour when scarcity meets choice. The psalm, hidden on the slopes of Sinai, is not just words. It is armor, a map, a shield that protects the spirit in ways most do not understand. Do you sense the tension? The invisible pressures pressing on your mind, your emotions, your household, and your path? The fear of walking unprotected, vulnerable to spiritual interference and misalignment, is not meant to paralyze you, but to awaken you. Your first acts today, your first words, your first thoughts, can either align you with divine favor or leave you exposed. Moses knew this, standing on the mountain, listening, receiving guidance that few would comprehend. He teaches that spiritual awareness begins in the quiet before movement, in the attentive heart, in deliberate alignment with God's unseen will. This is your moment to choose intentionally. Do not treat it casually. The Psalm of Sinai, almost no one hears it, is calling you to step into alertness, to speak aligned words, to act with faith before the day decides for you. Delay, and the moment may pass. Readiness, and the doors of blessing will swing open in ways you have not imagined. Your spirit cannot walk unprotected. Your alignment cannot be accidental. Your awakening cannot wait. The day ahead is a battlefield disguised as routine, and this is the instruction from the Almighty. Hear the unheard psalm, shield your spirit, and step with deliberate faith. The turning point is here. Will you move as the world moves, or as the Spirit directs? Will you awaken to protection, or remain unaware as the invisible presses closer? Standing on the edge, yet few realize the danger. You are alive, breathing, moving through another day. But have you stopped to consider the invisible pressures pressing upon your spirit, your mind, your home? Existence alone is not protection. Moses stood on Sinai, alive and alert, yet the mountain held dangers unseen to the untrained eye. There, in the stillness, the psalm whispered truths that only those who listened carefully would comprehend. Few hear it today, and fewer act upon it. To walk without alignment is to move into hidden battles, unaware of the attacks that wait quietly in routine, in conversation, in decisions made without divine consultation. Being awake does not equal being shielded. Your first words, your first thoughts, your initial steps in this day can either invite blessing or open doors to distraction, fear, and misalignment. Moses understood that spiritual authority begins before action. The first words you speak in faith, even silently, can create or break the protective hedge around your life. The Psalm of Sinai, almost no one hears it, calls you to attention, to align your heart, to focus your spirit, to prepare for the challenges that hide in the ordinary. Feel the tension in your chest. That is your awareness awakening, the subtle reminder that faith without alertness is fragile and unprotected faith is vulnerable. The world moves, plans collide, pressures mount, but in the quiet, in the deliberate alignment with God's unseen will, your spirit finds armor. This awareness replaces ignorance. Gratitude replaces assumption. Clarity replaces wandering. Do not underestimate the value of standing alert, of acknowledging the invisible, of speaking your first alignment. Moses' first acts on the mountain, before speaking to the people, before stepping into the mission, were the acts that secured divine favor. Your day requires the same deliberate attention. To exist without acknowledging the hidden spiritual realm is to risk unnecessary struggle. To exist with deliberate focus, however, is to anchor yourself in divine authority, to recognize that protection, guidance, and blessing are already at work if you choose to engage with them. Every breath, every glance, every decision before you step further into this day is a moment of preparation. Listen, align, speak. Moses teaches that awareness is the first shield, action the second, and faith the completion of the protective circle. Are you ready to stand alert? Are you willing to let the Psalm of Sinai guide your first moves, your first words, your first steps into this unseen battle? Therefore, I perceive the threat, when hidden dangers lurk in the ordinary. The ordinary can be deceiving. You walk through your day thinking routine is safe, that nothing extraordinary threatens you, yet the spiritual realm whispers in subtle ways. Moses understood this on Sinai. Dangers were not always obvious. Attacks waited hidden, in distractions, in misjudgments, in the moments taken for granted. The Psalm of Sinai is almost silent to the untrained ear, yet it reveals that the smallest misalignment can invite chaos. Invisible pressures, unseen obstacles, and spiritual interferences operate quietly, testing patience, faith, and discernment. Each careless word, each unexamined thought, each step taken without deliberate alignment can expose cracks in the shield surrounding your life. You may feel secure, but the moment you ignore the unseen, the moment your mind wanders, you risk being caught in the spiritual currents that Moses had to navigate on the mountain. Psalm 121, 143. And now this hidden Psalm of Sinai, collectively worn. Faith without awareness is vulnerable. Presence without alignment is exposed. The ordinary hides threats, the unnoticed conversation, the unguarded emotion, the unchecked worry. You are alive, but alive without discernment can be spiritually costly. Awareness awakens urgency, curiosity, and focus. You begin to see that protection is not passive, it is activated by intentional thought, word, and posture. Feel it? That subtle tension, the prickling sense that not all is visible? That is perception sharpening your spiritual senses. Moses' mission required him to recognize these subtle threats before acting, to honor the unseen with preparation, prayer, and deliberate alignment. The Psalm teaches the same. The ordinary moment carries extraordinary weight. Your decisions now, in the quiet, in the first moments, can invite blessing or allow compromise. The hidden psalm calls you to vigilance, awareness, and action. Let your eyes lift, your heart focus, and your first words align with divine guidance. This is not a moment to act blindly. It is a moment to recognize the threats lurking in normalcy, to engage intentionally with the unseen, and to secure your path before stepping further into the day. Therefore, I recognize my exposure, the power of the first word. Every word spoken carries authority. Moses understood that the first declaration of his day could shape outcomes, shift spiritual currents, and open doors, or allow hidden opposition to gain footholds. The Psalm of Sinai, nearly silent to most, reveals that the first word aligns the spirit with protection or exposes it to compromise. You may feel your day begins neutrally, yet neglecting the power of your speech can subtly unravel the shield guarding your life. The first word spoken in prayer, in thought, or in declaration set the spiritual tone. Moses learned that intention before expression could pivot entire nations, yet a misalignment could invite chaos even before the day fully began. Imagine walking through a door, unaware that the tone of your first words has already determined whether blessing or struggle accompanies you. This psalm teaches the unseen, profound truth. What seems small is monumental. Recognition is uncomfortable. Fear and urgency rise when you see the exposure you've been under, the gaps left by careless speech or passive alignment. Are your words anchored in divine purpose, or are they unguarded, leaving space for opposition? The Psalm of Sinai instructs vigilance, focus, and deliberate alignment. Moses modeled how conscious awareness of speech, thought, and prayer protects the spirit, empowers action, and secures favor. Your exposure is real, yet not hopeless. The moment you recognize it is the moment you can act. Intentionality in the first words, in the first declarations, transforms vulnerability into spiritual authority. The psalm whispers across centuries, "Awaken to the significance of what you say first today, for it will either guard or weaken the path ahead." Take a deep breath, align your words, declare protection, authority, and obedience in your first spoken intentions. Your exposure becomes your turning point. Your first word can shield your spirit from what you cannot yet see. Therefore, I cry out for protection, activating the shield. Recognition alone is not enough. Moses understood that awareness must lead to action, and that action must be deliberate, intentional, and anchored in God's guidance. The Psalm of Sinai, almost unheard by the masses, beckons you to lift your eyes, speak your faith, and actively invoke protection over your life, family, and purpose. It is not a passive alignment. It is a spiritual activation. Every morning, before the day's distractions, dangers, or unseen pressures reach you, there is a sacred moment to speak your first word of protection, to declare divine covering over your mind, heart, and spirit. Moses' prayers on the mountain, the very words that echo through this psalm, demonstrate that when you cry out with focus, your spirit establishes a shield that no visible obstacle can penetrate. This act of calling on God creates a spiritual boundary. Fear loses its edge when the first word is spoken in authority and intentionality. The unseen enemies, the hidden pressures, and the subtle traps that await are rendered powerless when you lift your voice in alignment with divine instruction. Do not allow hesitation or distraction to leave your spirit unguarded. The first word becomes the shield. The first prayer, the first declaration, the first act of alignment is not trivial. It is decisive. Moses' obedience, even in silence or solitude, shaped protection that generations would follow. The Psalm of Sinai whispers to you now, speak, declare, act. Your first word can activate divine coverage over your life. Take this moment. Write a prophetic phrase declaring your shield, your alignment, your readiness to walk under God's protection. The invisible becomes fortified. Fear gives way to empowerment. You are no longer passive. You are actively engaged in securing your path. Therefore, I am fulfilled, shielded, and ready to walk. You have recognized the unseen threats, acknowledged your vulnerability, and activated your shield through intentional prayer and alignment. Now, fulfillment emerges. A state where protection is no longer abstract but tangible, felt, and guiding every step you take. Moses' example on Mount Sinai illustrates that those who obey, who speak with authority, and who trust the unseen walk in a protection that surrounds their spirit like a fortress. The Psalm of Sinai, nearly unheard, is not a secret, but a divine instrument meant to prepare you for life's unseen challenges. As you walk forward, you carry the first words of protection, the intentional prayers, and the conscious alignment that establish spiritual authority. Every action, every decision now occurs under God's shield. The anxiety, the fear of unseen forces, the pressure from the unknown, all are held at bay because your spirit is fortified. Peace, confidence, and clarity replace hesitation. You move forward knowing that the unseen world respects alignment with the divine. The obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now bow before your obedience. The Psalm's power is unlocked not by mere listening but by action, by speaking, by declaring, by participating in the divine plan. Second call to action. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to reinforce your commitment to walk under God's protection and to help spread this spiritual awakening to others who need to hear the Psalm of Sinai. Finally, seal this moment with the Lord's Prayer, invoking God's guidance, provision, and shielding over every path you take today. Let it be the foundation of your faith, your shield, and your confidence as you step into a world full of unseen pressures, now armed with divine protection.